You having fun?
No.
Yes, you are. It's rare that you get to share in the glory of
Why do we have all
working
these,
on a wagon.
Why do
Exactly.
we have all these 90s down here when we could have used just straights?
Because it's
This could come in straight, and then this could go out straight. Instead, we have this whole.
I see what you're saying. Backwards.
it's
This one
a
I get. There's nothing you can do about this.
it's a
But
menagerie of cluster
work.
cuss. I don't know. We can change it.
It works. It works.
It works, but well, no, it works. It's all on there. Just leave it now.
Yeah.
One step closer. That's Clark. Customer helping because I ain't got time to do this stuff. Ain't got time for this. And that's a M1 down there.
Hey.
Right. We have a M1 and M2 because the two Mitches in the shop, so we just call them M1, M2. Sweet, we are ready to roll. That was surprisingly good. I really appreciate Clark, my buddy, customer, coming in, helping me, because he actually took the motor out of the car, and him and Mitchell put the motor in the car in record time. I told him to slow down. I just want to make sure there's no mistakes. We got 2 days to put this thing in the car. They had it done in 4 hours. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm gonna go through this and show you. This has a line for everything. So let's go through this so you understand what all is going on. So if we cover fuel system, so the street fuel system is this little line right here, which comes from the back fuel cell. Back fuel cell right there. Separate pump, separate regulator, complete system, and it just sends fuel up to this rail right here. Loops around in the back, pressure sending unit right there. All that is a simple push button from inside the car, and you push that little keypad right there, the number 1, and that's street tune, and that runs on street gas. It is always cycling. I can take out, well, let's go backwards, sorry. So that's the fuel for the street drive. Then on the methanol side, I do things just a little bit differently because I have a huge pump on this, and I don't want to cycle it all the time. So so it is possible to do it the way we do it in Cletus's. A little bit tougher in this particular scenario, so I don't have it set up that way. So it is a push button off on, change tune. So in methanol, we have the fuel cell right here. Fuel pump is driven off the camshaft, and what I do during the street drive is I just disconnect the pump, pull the fuel pump drive shaft out, put the pump back on, and then it's not sitting here spinning. Okay, so that has this dash 12 line that comes over fuel pump to my fuel filter, out of the fuel filter back to the fuel rails to the back, and then underneath the return lines come out right here, that line and that line over here to the regulator. Okay, so it's a bypass style system, so all the fuel goes to the main injectors. This is the methanol, so it goes to the main injectors, then all the way through the rails, through the injectors, and then comes to the regulator at the end. All right, so that is the two fuel systems. Oil system. So the oil system, oil pump is right there, down below the alternator, because this is a street car, driven on the street. Actually, it is a street car. So oil pump's right there. Now, the way I do this is different also because I filter the oil from the oil pump before it ever goes into the tank. So, that's the line from the scavenge from the oil pump. So it scavenges out of the oil, or out of the oil pan and out of the cylinder heads. So it scavenges all the way around there, sends all the oil to a filter. On the filter, it feeds low pressure oil, low pressure, high volume oil to the turbos from here and here. We monitor the pressure right there. It then sends that oil right through here over to my oil cooler, engine oil cooler. Has a brushless fan mount on it. That, after it goes through the cooler, comes out, goes into the tank. From the tank, it goes back into the pump. The pump pumps it directly into the engine. All right. Now, this line here, so I'm also crankcase evacuation. So all the crankcase vent actually goes into the dry sump tank. So any oil mist, anything that, like the last disaster I just had where, burned up a piston broke a piston and burned it up, and it fills up my puke tank right here with oil, it overcomes it. Now that entire crankcase ventilation is venting into the oil tank. So this is the dry sump oil tank. Because it has a very good venting system, all the oil would hang there, and then it sends any air. This is vented to my puke tank. So this way, any oil or any kind of issue it'd have in the motor, all the oil mist, all the problem bullcrap stuff goes directly back into the oil tank. Oil mist is what it would be. Oil mist goes back into the oil tank, separates the oil. All it spits out is air going to my overflow tank. And if it did happen to put any kind of oil, which it can't because it doesn't add oil to the system. So if this has the right amount of oil in it all the time, there's no oil getting added to the system, no water getting added to the system, so there's enough always here. But it would be able to send any overflow to the 1 gallon tank right here. So that works out real cool. So there's all those lines. Now let's go over to the water. So we got super big Delta Pag water pump with twin 16-inch brushless fans. Now this is the water pump. It is bolted right directly to the radiator with 2-12 16 outlets. Those 16 outlets split into 4-12 water inlets or outlets going to the motor, which are, well, I showed you earlier, one there, one down on the bottom of the block, one there, one on the bottom of the block. Circulates water through, completely separate system. So there is 4 separate, each head is separate, each side of the block is separate. No crossing over anywhere through a gasket or anything else. And then the water comes back out through line 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 outlet lines, 4 inlet lines, 4 outlet lines right here into the radiator. So the system does work very well. It has been staying cool, and it's working in other cars among mine too. These are, like I said, twin 98 millimeter turbos. I keep on bouncing back and forth between 94 and 98 just because I don't remember. It's nothing, no top secret crap. It's their 98s. And let's see here. Look, we got that. Oh, this is over here is a transmission cooler. So lines go to the transmission cooler, same thing, fan. So that's always running. Other than that, that is about it. So we are darn close. We're gonna start this thing up. So Lord willing, we'll be ready to rock. This thing starts up and runs. We'll be ready for Friday a whole day early. Why don't you go ahead and step inside my car with me? So first thing you notice is I think I've already talked about this, but just in case you don't know, steel, glass, power windows. Front windows are power. The rear windows are not. Not gonna lie to you, they're not, and these are plexiglass. But the front windows are glass and power. So we jump inside. You see driver's seat, passenger seat, cup holders, typical drag and drive setup. Exposed transmission. A lot of people ask me about this exposed transmission. Tell you what, if you cover that thing up with a 16th thick piece of aluminum or a 16th thick piece of carbon fiber and think that anything that comes out of that transmission is going to be stopped by a cover, sorry, you're just wrong. These cases are certified, blah, blah, blah. Kind of is what it is, and usually don't have, I'm sure people will tell me I have horror stories about it, but don't usually have stuff coming out right there. Plus the bell housing is, SFI certified too. But anyways, you'll see here everything from parachute, the switch panel, dome lights, front, rear, undercar, engine compartment. My personal favorite, my backup camera. So my backup camera shows me everything behind the car. Great for driving down the road. Great for backing up at the racetrack. It's just handy. It's just amazingly handy for what that does. All the fuel tech system is right there. Believe it or not, that is a some things are coiled up because they need to be extra long, but that is a super Billy bad boy wiring job and setup. I mean, it's fantastically nice. Like, fantastically nice. This, I think, is probably my only problem, because I think I'm getting too much RFI out of the box, because right here is my, on the back side of these Clecos right here, or I'm not Cleco, but a spring clip, is my EGT module. And I'm always having problems with the EGT module down track on this bank. So, trying to figure out maybe a different place to put it and get it out of the way. That'll be down the road here. Swing out shaft. What-a? Swings out of the way. I put it over here, and then it's pretty easy to get in and out of. And it is rock solid. Easy. I mean, very good. Talking about those tunes, so in between the street drive, so turn on my ignition here. So this is street drive. This is now ready to go 670s. Now it'll go 640s. Now it drives on the street. It's that hard. You got all the back there, CO2. It has electronic wastegate, Turbo Smart wastegates. So the CO2 is only for the shifter and parachutes. And let's take you through the back here. The fire extinguisher system up there, that fuel system, parachutes, mounting, wheelie bars. Pretty slick deal. Could not be happy. Of course, it's hard not to be happy with a steel stock bodied. There's nothing that is not stock bodied on this except the hood. Front, I mean everything. Stock bodied steel 3,600 pound station wagon that goes 653, 230. We'll be going 640s, Lord willing, pretty quick. So I'm gonna jump in here, try starting this thing up. So I got everything all done here, and everything's all hooked up. It's cranking over, battery's charged up, so we'll do a startup. Let's see what we got. Or not. Starting on the methanol, so a little cold.
wants to go.
Yeah, it's got to get the fuel pump primed up. That's built fuel pressure now, so we're close.
Over here now.
All right, so we just had it running. I went, thumbs up, and then I look at the EGTs, look over the screen before Kyle walked away. It's like, oh, there's a dead hole, number 6 hole. What the heck? And it wasn't starting as easily as it should. And so I come out here and check the spark plug, check everything on it. Everything looks good. Said, all right, that's interesting. And it wasn't full of fuel. So I said, all right, well, I've been trying to start it, and then I got it started a couple times, and it was fine, but the spark, it never came back around, so I'm trying to figure out what's all going on. In the meantime, it was starting hard, and every time I have one of these things that do this, they start hard like that. Well, then it burned up a starter, so I just put a new starter on it, or it just started cranking slow. So I put a new starter on it, fired up, it's going ring, and then as soon as it builds fuel pressure, it's going ring, 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 ring. Oh my gosh, this thing does have a hung open injector. So I look and figure out what's going on. Well, in the big rush and everybody helping, they put my fuel lines on backwards, so it pumped the fuel from the fuel filter backwards. So they put the in on the out and the out on the in, and then all the stuff that was caught in the fuel filter all went back into the injectors and hung up, obviously hung this one injector open. So I knew it was on number 6. You take the fuel rail off here, and something kind of neat you'll see. There's a fuel in that one, fuel in that one, fuel in that one, fuel in that one, fuel in that one. No fuel in that one, fuel in that one, fuel in that one. That one is hung open. So you what you do is take this out. It's super easy, and it's no fault of the injector. It's the fault of getting dirt in it. Take compressed air, blow through it backwards. It'll blow it out, clean everything out. Okay, I've already done that. So blow it out, cleans all the fuel out of it. And then just physically, if you can't blow through it, it's okay. When I grabbed this out of here, it was empty. I just went, and it went, psst, you're blowing through it. Had a piece of crap in it. Simple as deal as that. But burned up a starter and frustrated the crap out of me for an hour here. So I'm just putting it back together. It should be good. Now we're better. Now you can see all my EGTs are working. Much better, and my O2s are equal. So looks good. Now it's time to test it on the brake. All right, time for a 2-step test. It should make it should make 16 psi on the brake here. So if everything's all good here, this thing's ready for a trailer tomorrow. Oh, you know what? I didn't have the CO2 on. So it definitely made it up to... Definitely made it up to the 2-step, obviously.
There
I
you go.
forgot to have the CO2 on. So let's just see what it did anyways. Just for kicks and giggles. It probably should have only made like 5 PSI because I just got a 5 PSI gate in here. Get this junk out of the way. What is that the boost cell noise down there? Making noise?
Yeah, it's making noise.
Well, it sounds like it. Better make sure don't have that on all the time. So our oh heck, that didn't make any boost. So that made I'm not even sure how that's even possible. Negative 0.23 pounds of boost. Not sure that's possible. Or I'm in the wrong area. Sorry, my bad. Okay, 4.46. So that's right. All right, that's all good. That's all good. Yeah. So I think we'll now that I got the boost controller or the CO2 on, we'll try it with the CO2 on. Alright, now let's see what that did. So I have this on it didn't hit what I wanted it to or I got to reset and recheck my parameters because what I'd like to have it do is go up on a 3-step. So what it does is it goes up at like 5,000 RPM, which is where it's at right now, 5,000 RPM, and then as soon as it hits its target boost, which is usually like 17 or 18, it comes down in RPM. So all of a sudden you hear the car go, as soon as I hear the car come down in note, then I can start bumping in. Then I know to bump and the boost is all set. So I don't ever even look at the boost gauge because actually I don't even have it set up on the dash right now. And interesting note, so it only makes 12 pounds of boost right there. So that's why it never hit the 3-step and then came back down. So this is why we have to do this, because if it leaves at 11 or 12 pounds of boost, it's a pooch. So this thing needs to leave at like 16 pounds of boost in order to work right. And it's still slower than for a 60 foot. So anyways, I'm gonna go in and fix that up. But it looks like everything's working. I just got to find my calibration and we're going to be pretty good. So I think we're pretty good to be putting this thing in a trailer tomorrow. We're ready to, I've just headed up on a 2-step. It's morning, so we're getting ready to just put the car the rest of the way together. Just put the front end on and wheels on, drop it down. But I thought you might find this interesting. So I need to check my shock pressure. And so we get underneath the car, and underneath the car here, you can see I have these LED lights underneath here so I can see what's going on. But in these type cars, they are also gas charged shocks. I have to get in here and see that. And that is 30, 60, and just checking the pressure, make sure that we have proper pressure on the shocks. So that's just one of those simple setups. So you have let's see, rebound is here, and then, or no, this is, crap, I can never remember. This is either rebound or compression, and then compression or rebound is up there. I think that's compression up there, I think. So that's compression, and I believe this is the rebound adjuster right there. So when we're adjusting shocks and trying to make the shock the perfect ride height, the perfect height and compression going down track, we're monitoring that with our shock sensors. So this is our shock sensor on both sides. Shock adjustments, shock pressure. Up here, it's hard to see, but right there is a track temperature probe, and then right up above it, right there, that is the tire temperature. So we measure track temperature, tire temperature, shock position, shock pressures, all that good jive. So I thought you kind of get a kick out of that, even though it's not engine related, but it is interesting. Now that I got the shock pressure check, let's go over. I need to get Kyle to help me put the front end on the car. So let's go see what he's got going on today. I'll show you a little bit inside the shop right now. So I mean, everything you see here is all engines in process, and we got a lot of stuff going on right now. We're just buttoning this one up. It'll be ready for dyno today. This one is pretty much ready for dyno right now. This one is a Matt Hobbs motor. Finally got everything all around, and that one's pretty much ready for dyno. And on the dyno cart, another dyno job. Lamborghini. Let's go see what Kyle's been doing though. I'll show you, since we just posted up the video on the twin supercharged engine. He got this one set on the dyno, so we're just getting ready to do this. And he just got this one started today. So this is another twin torque storm deal. You can see it's a different blower because these are a shiny blower. This is a different one that we got going on. He just got this one all started up today. So we're rocking along pretty good. In fact, here he is. So good job. He just got everything. Got this one all done, or all not done. Just got it started. Got it all hooked up. And
pulls on it here in
well,
5 minutes.
yeah, we're gonna just make a baseline pull on it, and then I need your help here real quick. And then this one will be, so we'll have both of these done next week, and hopefully a third one done next week. Maybe a fourth one done next week would be great. This is one whole engine project. We have all of that stuff is for one streamliner. So doing a streamliner engine package, and it's gonna be pretty neat. So streamliner as in salt flats, 500 mile an hour kind of streamliner package. Super cool. So we gotta get this thing on the ground and ready to go.